Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you a new series. And as you could tell from the name, we're going to be learning Obsidian. But I hear you asking, but Tasman, why? Why Obsidian? So here's why. Obsidian is awesome, and it does lots of cool stuff, and is relatively easy to use and learn. And that's what this series is about. It's learning Obsidian. Uh, Maybe it'll be Obsidian from the ground up. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So, to be honest, I've recorded this first episode and several of the following episodes like 3 or 4 times now, and the last one I was really happy with, but I think I overrid it or I didn't save the thing. I don't know. Something happened. I have a curse of Obsidian here. So, I know what you're probably thinking is, why not just use, you're always talking about Foundry and stuff. Why not just use the journaling in there? And the journaling's okay, but Obsidian gives you another level of nicety to that, and I'll explain. And almost any VTT. I'm not even saying specifically Foundry. In Fantasy Grounds, the note taking is subpar. All of them that I've seen, Roll20, and everything else. And Obsidian gives you some really nice features that you just don't get, like using pen and paper and taking notes. Plus, you might get carpal tunnel from the typing opposed from the pen or whatever. But it's a really good program, and I'm gonna use this series to not only teach you but kind of convince you of the power of Obsidian and why you should be using it for taking your notes. One of the biggest reasons is it has what is it called? Well, linking. They call it forward linking or something like that. Forward linking and back linking is what I'm going to call them until we get in there and find out I'm calling it completely wrong. Which lets you create relationships between your different notes. Also, another really nice thing is your Obsidian notes or your vault is simply just folders and files. They're plain text. They're just written in Markdown. So that makes you probably wonder, well, I don't know Markdown, but it's actually really easy, and I'm going to be teaching you everything you need to know about Markdown, and of course you'll learn more and probably surpass me in knowledge really quickly. So the first thing you need to do is get Obsidian, and you just can do that by going into Google or your favorite browser, type Obsidian space MD, MD's Markdown, hit enter, and it might be the very first thing. It'll be Obsidian MD .md is the actual extension there, or the domain, and you can just click on the download. We're going to click on the sharpen your thinking real quick and kind of talk about it. So this is showing you kind of the interface. This is the light interface. This is kind of a dark interface. Really nice thing about Obsidian is it actually is for Android, iOS, Mac OS, Linux, Windows, and all kinds of almost anything you can imagine running it on. There's a version to run it. This is kind of the interface. You can see over here we have our vault name, we have our folders, and then inside the folders we have our files, which are MD files. And basically you can very easily get stuff that looks like this. This over here is something we'll be talking about. This is a graphic view of the relationships between files. So you can see this one that is the highlighted one is related to on-writing? Yes, on-writing, and evergreen notes turn ideas into objects that you can manipulate. And we'll explain that more as we go. I think I'm trying to remember. Oh, there's a really good thing of the example there. You can see that philosophy has those links and so on and so forth. I don't think there was anything really else in here. Obsidian is free. There are 2 services that you can pay a monthly or yearly. One is for sync, where Obsidian will synchronize your notes between devices. And there's also publish, where it will publish to a website directly, instantly. And those have costs on them. Other than that, it is completely free. If we click on pricing for personal use, which is what I'm assuming you're going to be using it for, completely free. If you're using it for commercial, it's $50 per user per year. And then of course you have those add-ons where it's yearly billing ends up being $8 a month, paid up front of course. And if you do monthly billing, it will be $10 a month each month for the forever, I guess, until you cancel it. Saying that, now we have our download. So it's automatically detecting that I'm in Windows, but like I said, it's for iOS, it's for Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you can, pick your poison. So I've already downloaded it. So I'm not going to download it again, but I will let you download it. Go ahead and install it. And once you've done that, come back. All right, I'm assuming you're back now. So once you double click the Obsidian icon on your desktop to run it, you'll be greeted with a nice little window kind of like this. I think I'm going to close that. Well, this is dark too, so it's not going to help right now. Actually, you know what might? If I go back to Google and have a white, it's red, pinkish, whatever. But that still sticks it out. That makes it stand out more. So you'll have a blank bar on the side over here. You'll have the options to create, open, and sign in. If you signed up for Obsidian Sync and Publish, it will use this. In other words, you don't need to worry about it. And then, of course, you have a drop down with your language, and there is a slew of them. So I'm assuming you've never used Obsidian before, and that I need to get a Jolly Rancher. I apologize. My throat is going really dry. So, like I said, I'm assuming you've never used Obsidian before, and you're going to want to create a new vault. So, a vault, like I said, is no more than a directory structure. In fact, we can look at my testing vault that I'm creating. So we have my testing vault that has all my notes for what we're going to be doing. And if we go inside of it, you'll see that we just have folders. And inside the folders, we have folders and folders and more folders. And then we have some files. But there's also this .obsidian folder. This is where Obsidian keeps all of its data for your settings, your configurations, and stuff like that. And if we go in there, you can see there's a plugins, there's themes, and then there's just a whole bunch of JSON files for it to know how to display your stuff. Whoops, go back into Obsidian. So that is basically what we're creating. So what we were in is this testing one. So if you're creating one, then you click create. If someone is giving you, because it's just a bunch of folders and stuff, I could zip up that testing directory, send it off to you. You could extract it onto your desktop and point Obsidian to it, and it would work as an Obsidian. So in that case, you would actually click open, and you would point to where that directory is, and it would create a vault based off of that. In this case, we're going to create a new one. So we're going to call this YouTube. Y-O-U-T-U-B-E, like our show. And where do we want to have it? Well, I want it with all my other ones, which is in my documents in a directory called Obsidian. I don't need to actually create the folder. It will automatically create the folder called YouTube. So if I hit select folder, it will say, okay, D, TAS, Documents, Obsidian. And now when I create that, it will go ahead and create it for me. And if wow, that actually is the right size. If we go look at our folder now, you'll see we have a new one called YouTube, and it has nothing in it except Obsidian, which has just a few things in there as well. Now, as I was saying, I can actually create folders here and Obsidian will receive it, and I can create files here and Obsidian will know what those are. So I'm going to create one. I like to create one that has all my administrative stuff that is kind of segregated or separated, I don't know, from my other one. So I'm going to create one called ZZ_admin. And that's simply so that when I get other folders in there, it's always on the bottom. And inside this folder, what we're going to be creating is ourselves a cheat sheet of Markdown language. So we will always have that for us. So I'm going to create a new text document, and I'm going to call this Markdown cheat sheet. MARKDO. And instead of TXT, I'm going to give it that extension MD. And it'll tell me you're going to be changing the extension. It might not be usable, but we know it is, and that's it. If we go into Obsidian now, you'll see we have a ZZ admin and we have a Markdown cheat sheet, and it even knows that it's a file that we can edit. So as you can see, the title here is actually the title of our cheat sheet. And I can come in here and I can type a whole bunch of stuff, which is what I want to do for this next part of my example. See how fast of a typer I am? So this is going to be into the settings that we're going to get in. But I wanted to point out that you'll notice that the default is word wrapping kind of centered in your window. Now, if you have a giant screen, I have this set to 720 by 1280, so we don't have a ton of space, and if I expand these guys, it's hardly even noticeable that I'm floating in the middle. But if you have a giant screen, might notice that it looks really weird, that it's just this tiny bit. I could use so much more. So go ahead and just keep that for now. We're going to go over the interface really quick. When we get into settings, we're going to show you how to change that. All right, so let's start with the settings. We're going to go to the top bar up here. You can see we have our tabs, and we can have multiple tabs. Each tab will be a sheet. If we open a new sheet, it usually replaces the one we're on unless we use a special key or middle click on the mouse button, use the middle mouse button. It will open in a new window or a new tab. We also have this guy, which also looks just like this guy over here. These will expand the bars, the sidebars. This one over here is our files, our search, and our bookmarks. Inside files, you can see we can create new notes, and we can create new folders. We can change the order, and it's not just A to Z. We can base it off of modified time, oldest to newest, and the created time, oldest to newest. I like it just to be A to Z. And then we also have, if we have lots of folders and stuff like that, we can instantly collapse them all, or we can expand them all. Under search, this is our search criteria. We can use special keywords like file to match a file name, tags if we're searching for tags, line to search with keywords within the same line or on the same line, section, so on and so forth. We also have some options here to say match case, or just match. It can be any case. So if it's purple with the default theme, that means it's looking for exact case. If we uncheck it, it won't care whether it's uppercase or lowercase. And we have this small little thing of search settings. So we can collapse the results, show more context, or explain search items. Then we have our little bookmarks one. So we have add a bookmark, we can create bookmark groups, and once again we can collapse and expand our content. So I'm going to close that for now. We're going to come over here. And this is kind of what I was talking about, the linking. So we have backlinks. It will list all backlinks so you can quickly find them. It also has outgoing links, not what I say, backlinks and forelinks or forward links. I don't know. So you can also list that. You can also get a list of all tags that are used within your vault. Right now we don't have any. And then finally we have our outline mode, which we're not actually going to see anything because there's no headings in here yet. Then of course we have minimize, maximize, and close, which are all obvious. We also have a bunch of options, that we can do here. We can stack our tabs. We can bookmark a tab. We can close all tabs. We can switch. It'll be the list of all our different tabs. We can switch between them. Inside our main window here, we have this little book, and this switches us from preview mode to editing mode. Right now, we are in the preview mode. If we click on this, we become editing mode. The default setting actually, or no, this is actually the preview mode. If it's the pencil, we switch to the edit mode. I don't know why I always mess that up. So you can see we can't actually click and edit anything. I mean, we're going to highlight, but we can't type anything. In edit mode, we can go ahead and add more junk, so on and so forth. Then we have the three little dots. These are all the different options you have for your sheet, and there's just a lot of them. You can pin, link with tab, backlinks, all this fun stuff. You can go through them, play with them. We're really not doing much with them. We can split it so that we have one tab here and then the next tab would be showing at the same time. Split up, down, all that fun stuff. Move it to a new window, rename, all the standard stuff that you have with kind of text and stuff like that. Finally, we have the sidebar over here. So the top we have is our open, this quick switcher. So this is to quickly switch between things. It gives you little clues here. We only have one item, so it's really not going to do much. We could type in a name in here, and if it doesn't exist, it'll create a new one. So you can see, use the up arrow to navigate. The enter key to open, control enter to open a new tab, control alt enter to open to the right, which would be a new tab, but it would be side by side, both of them open at the same time. Shift enter to create a new one, and then escape, of course, to dismiss. Then we have our graph view. This is what I was showing you. Right now we have a single item. It's not related to anything, but we do have some options over here on the side. We can set up filters to say, I want to see tags here as well. I want to see attachments. I want to see only files that are existing, or show me orphans as well. So orphans are things that are not linked to anything else. If I uncheck that, we have nothing. This doesn't link to anything. We also have where we can create our groups. We can change our display options, and we can also, the forces between the things, we can change those, kind of the gravity. Go back up to the X. Then we also have this, which will basically kind of do a time lapse of redrawing this. Oh, I forgot to mention, we also have these little back arrows, which will go to the previous thing we were doing and the next. Of course, here there isn't a next until we actually make one. So this is not an undo, but this will jump history-wise from what that tab has been replaced with. After this, we have the canvas, and we're going to go over the canvas a little later. I'm not going to click it because it's actually going to create a file when we do it. But a canvas is kind of like a storyboard or a whiteboard, where you're kind of showing stuff. The next one we have is just to create a new note with today's date as being the file name. and we don't need to do that. Then we have insert template. Right now we don't have any templates to insert, so it's not going to tell us. We're going to learn more about that. Then we have the command palette. The biggest thing you're going to do in the command palette is periodically, as with other types of things, as this is kind of like a flat database with lots and lots of files, you might run into where it starts acting a little funny. And one of the most common things or handy things is to come in here and type reload. So reload without saving, and this will reload Obsidian and refresh links and all that. Next down here we have open another vault. This will open up the window that we saw before to create our vault. Look exactly like it. And now you'll actually see, if you're creating this with me and calling it the same thing, you'll see one called YouTube. But other than that, it'll be all the same. Next is help. And finally, we have settings. So I think I'm going to close it, end it here. I just kind of wanted to go over the interface, and we're at 21-ish minutes. So this is a good spot. In the next episode, we're actually going to go into settings. We're going to talk about different settings. And we're going to start learning Markdown. Yeah, I think that's good. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my other channels. Join my Discord, all that fun stuff. Tell other people about my channel. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.